Whoa. All right. We're back.
Hey.
We're here recording a pod. Welcome to I'll Tell You What. Thanks, Chad.
You got it.
What are we, Elliot? We're your weekly dose of uninformed analysis.
You got it.
Wait, but is this your tagline?
That is our tagline. So we are...
It's on the card.
Who are we?
I am Caitlin.
I'm old Birch.
I'm Elliot.
And we have a special guest. We have... I'd say collectively one of our favorite people on the pod.
I can get behind that.
And since day one, when we started the pod, we said, you know who we need on this pod?
Mm-hmm.
And do you think she'll stoop to our level? It's Lourdes.
Little do you know, she stooped to the level.
Stooped. It took a little convincing, but she's here. Lourdes, welcome to the pod.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I will say, you publicly did not say I was on your list of people. You did list people. This
Did
is the
we?
problems. You did.
And we didn't mention
We
you.
didn't.
did not.
You were always
We didn't want to ruin the surprise because we
Right.
just knew it was going to happen.
We did.
You're a very good
Lourdes,
bullshitter.
be
Thank
a
you.
little bit honest with us.
Yes.
Have you listened to the pod at all?
I have.
Just
Have you?
more than the first episode?
Okay, wow.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, you know what? I feel like we'll get you on this one, so you'll listen to 2 episodes.
Done.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll
All
go
right.
back and listen
Do
to
you
the
think you
others.
listened to this episode?
Yeah.
I find it tough to listen to your own voice.
This
and a
is-
lot of
To
people agree with
Lourdes'
that.
voice. That's not very nice, Elliot.
This is true because I kind of feel like I sound like a 12-year-old boy.
Well,
Really?
I don't feel that way.
Interesting. I don't feel like you sound
Really?
like that.
No,
Good.
not at all. Well, Lourdes, you were telling us you're kind of a professional. This is not your first, not your second, but your third podcast you've been on?
Yeah.
Oh, this is your second.
my second that
Okay.
I've been on. The other one
She's
is in the
slated
works.
to be another one.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Good job.
Wow.
Good job.
And who was the person that you might share a pod table with? Maybe not at the same time, but like in the same series.
I feel like I shouldn't reveal yet
Oh.
because then later on you all can reveal it. It can be very
Oh, yeah.
exciting.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. A little cross
Mhm.
cross
We can do
marketing.
the 7 circles of Kevin Bacon or whatever that
6
is.
degrees
6
of
degrees
Kevin
of
Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, but
Oh,
not
so I was
that
wrong
far.
on both the number and the shape.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
think-
sure what 7 circles around anyone is.
So Elliot, where are we and why are we here? Like, what are we doing? How
First of all, I
did
just wanna-
Lourdes come into our universe?
Chad was referencing the 7 circles of hell. I
Yeah, Dante.
Ah, see.
think. So Chad's
Dante,
mind is in a different
Kevin Bacon.
different kind of place. So would you ask me, where are we?
I think so. Yeah.
We
Or-
are in our nation's capital.
We are.
We are in Chad. Where are we?
Washington, the District of Columbia, our nation's capital.
Let's see, Lourdes. When you ask Chad a direct question, and he has the stage. His voice goes into this. You know it.
Oh, I know it. I know
Yeah,
it.
she
well.
knows
The
it.
VOG
I know it.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chad revels in it. Anytime he sees a mic in front of him, he can't help
He
himself.
turns it on.
I especially like when he gets very into it, and then it's like way.
It's too much. Too
It's
much
a
for
little
the
too
room.
much. Little too much. Chad, you should tell us like a fun DC fact because
Yeah.
you indeed used to take people.
I
on
did, yeah. So
tours.
I've forgotten more about the city than
Most people
most
would
people
ever know.
know. So earlier today, actually, we were walking by, and I pointed out Ford's
It's true,
Theater,
yeah.
where Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, and the house across the street where he actually passed away, and it's a landmark here.
I realized as I laughed through that story.
Aw, assassination.
It's-
Wait, did you all pass it? We didn't pass it.
We all
Yeah, we
did.
walked-
and
we
Chad
walked by.
pointed it out.
yeah.
He pointed it out to me.
Elliot happened to be near me, and I just know so many of the landmarks are just as you walk by here.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's that place. This is that
Well,
place.
we went by that one on foot, but a lot of what we passed today, we went by on scooter.
Ooh,
We
yeah.
had a day.
We
scooted around town
I get it.
like a scooter gang of.
I'm
scootering
jelly
Well,
of
it
a
takes
scooter.
a
So
lot.
you're a big scooter, Lourdes, right? You
I
said
am
that?
an enthusiast. I
An
would call myself.
enthusiast.
Yes, true story.
Where do you typically take them?
I'm from the great state of Ohio, the capital city,
Ooh.
Columbus. True.
Yeah.
Couple fun facts about Columbus. I feel like
Oh,
because we're
let's hear 'em.
sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're about to be the 13th largest city in the
No
country.
way, really?
True story.
Is that like
Wow.
when the census comes through, like you're already there, or like the projected
that
growth of the city is going to get you there?
Interesting. I think all of that is relevant. I just like the ranking because it,
Gotcha.
gives
Yeah,
it,
well,
it
13
gives
is
me
a cool
some street
number.
cred. Yeah.
This is our 13th
13th
pod that
pod.
we're recording right now.
Does that
Oh,
populate?
what?
Yeah.
That's
so
big.
meta.
That's a nice connection.
Symmetry.
You were brought specifically on for that.
True story. We are also the second largest city in the Midwest outside of Chicago.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Wow.
Does that include the
Mhm.
population of the Ohio State University? I feel like that's putting you over the edge, right?
It could be. I mean, but then it fluctuates.
Right.
But no, but actually it's actually immigrants, refugees, and migrants that are
Oh,
helping
wow.
to contribute to our city's growth.
What a beautiful
That's
thing.
That's
awesome.
very cool. So scootering, because with a city
Yes.
our size, going back,
Yeah.
do you like how I brought that
I
back?
Yeah,
liked
that was
it. It
great.
was-
That's how
You've
you
done
know
this
this is
before.
not our first podcast. Yeah.
You know, so our like infrastructure was not built for a city that has
That makes sense.
grown so
Sure.
quickly.
All right.
And so we need different modes of transportation. So these scooters have become a thing.
Yeah.
And I like live in the core part of the city, so it's just
So you just scoot around everywhere?
it's well.
You're a
Okay,
scooting gal.
let's be real. I should scoot more,
Ooh.
but I work from home.
Tell me about
So
it.
it makes it hard
Yeah.
because I'm only scooting to the bathroom
Yeah.
or my office. So, but when in my free time, when
I
it,
would
when
love
it-
to watch that, by the way.
and it's warm outside, I like a scooter.
Yeah?
Yeah,
It makes
You
sense.
probably look pretty good on a
Get
scooter,
some wind
Lourdes.
going in your hair.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like
Interesting.
you feel just truly alive when you're on the scooter.
I loved it.
Chad was.
I loved
I was
it.
not into it.
Can we say
when you said-
apprehensive?
Yeah, Chad was not.
It goes fast, right?
Well,
He
just,
was nervous.
it was like
He was
driving the city.
nervous.
I've heard the stats of just wrist injuries.
Were you in
Oh
the
gosh,
street?
I'm glad I didn't
We
know
were in
that.
the street
We were
today.
in the street.
Oh, you
And
guys are brave.
It took me a while to like warm up, and then I did warm up because we couldn't find a scooter that would actually work. We were trying.
Yeah, Chad
well,
struck
tried
out
like
like 15
30.
times. Yeah.
It was a very popular day for scooters.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
our
it was,
nation's
yeah.
capital.
Yeah.
But by the time when we found one, I enjoyed it. There was some nervous times. I hopped off and like just picked up the thing and ran. I may have bumped a car as I was moving between cars.
It was quite the image.
It's weird. You like oscillate back and forth between like, oh my God, this thing is going so fast. I'm so
Yeah.
nervous. I'm so nervous. And then all of a sudden it's like, are you serious? This is as fast as it'll go.
This is true. This is true.
You like work up a nerve very
The
quickly.
turn is frightening.
Ooh,
too.
yeah.
I haven't figured that part out yet.
Right, 'cause
Yeah.
if you turn too tight, you're flipping over because the radius is so short.
But I feel like even when you're turning wide, you're going so
So,
fast.
yeah.
And then the idea that I could fall and actually crack my head open, and I have 2 small children.
Have any of you ever been on a Segway before? Ridden a
No, I have
Segway?
not.
No.
You've done one
Have
of those
you?
here
I
in
did.
DC.
Yeah, I did it here in DC. Like I don't know, 5 years ago.
How would you rate the experience of a Segway versus a scoot?
The scooter, I liked the scooter a lot
Right.
better. Like the Segway was weird. I couldn't figure out how to step off of it, so I did this thing where it was just like this death spiral on this Segway. It kept spinning and spinning and spinning.
It's kind of like when I ski. I can't
terrifying.
figure out how to stop, so I just fall over.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
It's
a viable
effective.
option.
I was
Yeah.
worried about doing that today, and I kept like fall to the right, fall to the right. Don't fall into traffic.
This is a story that I'd like to be cut out of the pod, but I'm going to tell it to you
Ooh,
all.
yes.
I love it.
So we did a Segway tour with like the old team, so it was like blah blah blah.
Just bleep
At
out all
one
those
point,
names.
Segway went out of control and she just started zipping and she was like, I want to be done, I want to be done, just screaming for like 3 blocks. And then she finally got up and she wouldn't take her helmet off. Lourdes. She was walking on the sidewalk with the helmet on. I'm like, I don't think you need to wear that anymore. She's like, I don't think you need to tell me what to do.
She was angry.
Yeah, it was one of the best moments of my
Caitlin,
life.
can I leave that in if I bleep out all of the names?
And just like voice over the names with your voice.
Sure.
Sarah.
Sure. Yeah,
Jonathan.
well, yeah, sure.
Steve.
So when hears
Lynn.
it, she'll know.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So like you'll know, but Caitlin, can you take us through the experience of what it looked like when Chad tried to accompany me on my scooter?
Ooh.
Did you get a bird's eye
Doubling
view of
is
that?
tricky.
I
doubled-
I mean, we've
We
all
did it
seen
wrong.
Titanic, right? So imagine that scene while the ship was sinking. It's like if you condense the movie down into 30 seconds. It's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was tender.
It was tender, but like Chad like he hopped on. Well, he sidled up,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah.
He stepped on and he like gingerly put his hands on my hips. You know?
Oh,
to-
why
He
is my
wasn't-
hair color coming into this?
He
oh boy.
he wasn't sure what degree of permission he had.
He wasn't sure where
Yeah.
to touch me, and I was like, Chad, it's up to you. You
Like it
got
was the first time, That's the part I couldn't figure out.
It's true. We've
Wait, did you
wrestled
go
before.
far?
Well, so he gingerly put his hands on my hips, and
Well,
he,
they went pretty far,
We
Lourdes.
were like 7 feet. 7 feet.
he didn't have a good enough grip. You know what I mean?
Did you fall off?
And
No, I bailed.
He bailed. And I was like,
I
Chad,
can't do this.
Chad, really wrap up and let's go. But something made him uncomfortable. I don't know what it was.
It's also a very small space, so you're
It is.
very.
And we both have big feet.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine fitting 4 feet on that.
No.
Yeah, Chad and I are not the two people that belong on a scooter together.
Mainly I see couples together.
We saw it later on, and I was like, I could have had that.
I would never want to be on the back of somebody else's scooter.
No.
Like,
you want to
that's-
be in control.
Like, I could never imagine wanting to ride on the back of a motorcycle. Like, that just is terrifying to me.
It's scary.
On a scooter, it
you
almost
can't
seems
control the other
scarier.
person's
Exactly.
balance. Yes.
It's what
Right.
throws it off. So you have to be
like
very
when we
You're at
started
the
to need to
mercy,
do that.
yeah.
That's when I bailed.
Yeah,
When you were like,
3
oh
feet
shit,
into the trail.
Elliot's
Lean.
driving. Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to say something that I'm embarrassed to admit.
Yeah.
I found myself mimicking Elliot.
Wow.
The
'Cause
truth-
he
I was like, wow, this guy looks like he knows what
the
he's doing.
truth rears its
Yeah.
ugly
I
head.
Wait,
I
but your
ended up-
feet were.
I thought I was going to take
you all
that
had
one
your
to the
right
grave.
foot
That's my
up
whole
front.
style.
I had my left foot up in front. That was like the most comfortable for me.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
maybe
Caitlin-
so I could bail to the right.
Caitlin, could you like go a little bit more in depth as to what you mean when you said you were?
I saw
Copying
the
me?
way you put your body on it, and I
Yeah.
put my body the same way.
Did you also like copy my style, like my mannerisms?
No, you're a bit of a hot dog daredevil. I didn't. I wasn't trying to take that on.
As soon as he got one, he started doing like figure eights
Yeah,
in the
he
sidewalk
did.
and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, yeah.
Chad and I just looked at each other and were like, oh boy. Oh
Like, here we
boy.
go.
So scooter is the sort of thing
Scooter.
you can take from your childhood into adulthood. You
Yeah.
notice that? Yeah, it's like
I-
it's coming back around.
You know, one thing I find annoying about well, not all of it, but some of it, but we can discuss it,
Yeah.
is when you take something from your childhood and you make it a grown-up thing. So I'll give
Ooh.
you a couple examples.
Yeah.
Not a scooter.
Not well, they did make it a grown-up thing because it's motorized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not in an annoying way.
Right. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a
Ooh.
good example. Adult slushies. Hello.
Good example.
That's a
Good
good
example,
example.
right?
Do you remember that adult
Froze.
slushie that you got in Memphis?
We were talking about that earlier. It
Yes.
was I don't know what it was. It was just a blue drink.
Is this when
And I
Elliot
had-
threw up everywhere?
And we also were bitten by goat fleas.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was that the? Yeah, that was the bar. It was a bar in Memphis, which was it Beale
On
Street?
Beale Street, yeah.
On Beale
Yeah.
Street.
So Beale Street's. I've thoughts on Memphis, but Beale Street's cool, and it's one of those like it's like
Open
Bourbon Street
container,
in
yeah.
Nashville. It's just like I said Bourbon Street in Nashville.
In
Yes,
New
that's
Orleans.
incorrect.
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans.
Like the
Broadway
entire
at
It's
Nashville.
city
like
of
Bourbon
New
Street
Orleans.
in New Orleans. How there's just bar, and we walked into one bar, and we sat down and we looked to our right, and there was a pen for goats.
In the
It was
bar.
a climbing structure.
Yeah.
Well, it was an outdoor bar. You know how they have the open courtyard?
yeah.
So it was goats like to climb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen?
Yeah, goat yoga.
You should Google
I
it.
know that now.
They're in trees.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a climbing structure, and Elliot really enjoyed the goats. Maybe this is something from his childhood.
That's a-
Maybe
that's
they
a
carried it
great
into
estimate.
adulthood
Whoa.
in the bar, goats in the bar.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty confident they had fleas.
Yeah.
But,
And
like,
we
what did
sat
they
right next to
Do
it. So
they were just there to like you could look at them?
Yeah, you could hang out with them.
Yeah.
it's a weird thing.
All right.
It was.
I
It was a
mean,
weird
it was
thing.
random.
But if you're gonna choose, like, hey, let's go to another bar.
Yeah,
let's
I
go
mean,
to the
I
one
would,
with the goats.
Yeah, I would
you know?
definitely do that. Yeah, it's like when they have like turtle
Dinner
races
and a
stuff like
show.
that. That's fun.
I mean, I would rather go to a bar where you can eat the goat, but
Ooh.
Ooh.
Sure.
instead of watch the goat,
Yeah.
because now I know that they have.
What if you
fleas.
could like pick
Oh
your
yeah, I
goat
would
to
have never
eat?
known that.
say that again?
Like
What
a
if you
what-
could like
like a
pick your
lobster
goat
tank?
to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a goat pen.
Oh, that.
But they
that
have like
makes me
sad people-ish eyes, and yeah.
Right.
You want a little more
That's too
distance
much.
between the reality and your plate. I
I
see how
do.
it
Yeah.
is.
Although I will say, when I was younger,
Mm.
this is kind of a.
Put it out there.
It's a character building story.
Oh, I like
My father, we would always roast pigs for, holidays
Uh-huh.
or special
Big
occasions.
celebrations, yeah.
And so we would go out to the farm.
Uh-huh.
Now they have regulations; you can't do this anymore. But we would go out to the
They have
farm,
one.
and my dad would, kill the pig and like clean it, and we would take all the organs, and he would parcel them out to his friends who enjoyed whatever organ. But my dad, I didn't know that we were there to kill the pig.
Yeah.
I thought, yes,
You
my
didn't-
dad
you
would be like,
you didn't
"Which
catch
pig
on after
did you
the
like?"
first time. When
I didn't see the killing
This story's
portion.
gonna end different.
And so, when you're a kid, I
Yep.
didn't put it together. So he was like, "Oh, which of these pigs do you think we should get?" And I'd be like, "That one's nice and fat." He's like, "Pick a fat one," and I'd pick it.
Oh, man.
Little did I know. I know.
You were the executioner.
I was.
This makes complete
Unbeknownst to
sense to
me.
me. I've done plenty of this. Yeah.
Tell me more.
Have you ever
You
heard of a
expound
pole
on that?
shed?
Do you know what a pole shed is?
No.
Well, it's Chad's favorite shed.
No,
It's his favorite
but
kind
I'm
of
saying,
shed.
like, I grew up in, I have very similar stories of like butchering pigs or like cows and like helping my family do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Caitlin, have you ever butchered a pig?
No, I milked a cow before though.
I've milked a cow.
Nice.
Yeah,
You've never milked anything?
I've been around
Have you
cows
milked
being
a
milked, but I
goat?
don't think I've personally milked a
Really?
cow.
I've also had to pluck feathers off of like a dead
Oh, it's
chicken.
the
yeah.
worst thing ever.
Yeah,
Isn't the
that's a
worst?
mess.
That's the worst
Yeah.
experience.
It's gross.
It almost turned me off to chicken
yeah,
forever.
it's so gross.
Because you take the dead chicken and you plunge it into boiling water.
Okay.
So the pores open up and then you pull the feathers out. But there's something about that
Yeah.
experience of like,
yeah.
ugh.
Yeah,
That's
and then you see
horrifying.
it sitting on your plate, and you're like, oh,
I hate all of this.
boy.
Is the chicken?
But it's very fresh.
It's
It
not.
tastes-
It's not alive when you do this, right?
No, it's
It just
dead.
died though.
Yeah. Like you break its
they
neck
chop
and then.
it. Yeah, they either break or chop it off with an axe on a stump with 2 nails.
How weird would that be if you plucked the feathers off it before you killed it? It goes in for a haircut before its demise.
That's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. Interesting. I heard a podcast once. So,
Ooh.
Wait, there's other podcasts?
Wait a
I
minute.
thought this
not
was
as
our
good
thing.
as this. You lies. I don't think it was actually a podcast. I think it was a story
Well,
on
that
like
checks out.
NPR. But it was about. So they have. What is the library called? The library where they have like all the historical books.
Library of Congress?
Yeah.
The big one.
Yeah.
What's that big library called? Anyways, they have these cookbooks from way back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah, and then so they have like recipes for possum and raccoons and squirrel, and it was because that's what.
Yeah.
It's like
actually-
a pigeon used to be a delicacy. Now it's just everywhere and super annoying. And lobster used to be food for prisoners
Yeah.
on the Cape.
Yeah.
And they were fed lobster day and night, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Someone's gonna have to check me on this. I don't know if that's true, but they were fed a lot of lobster.
You're saying it very confidently.
BLT.
I believe you.
Yeah.
They were fed a lot of
Don't
lobster.
fall into that trap, Lourdes.
That
You've
lobster
known him for
trap.
how long? Yeah, lobster trap.
Basically, the prisoners complained that they were being fed too much lobster, which, like, I get.
They're kind of like sea rats.
Which only Elliot.
Well,
I get.
if you're only giving the lobster
Yeah,
one
you
way, I mean, it's not like
they're
Bubble
just-
Gump. It's not like they were like frying the lobster,
That's true.
boiling
Yeah,
the
you're
lobster.
right.
After a while, I guess you would.
I've never
It's a
made a
little
lobster at
repetitive.
home.
Really?
Really?
No.
Never in your life?
I find
You're not a big lobster
I'm not
fan.
a huge seafood person
fan,
in general,
yeah.
but I also find
Hmm.
lobsters. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. They're just aquatic bugs. They're just bugs that live on the bottom of the ocean floor.
Delicious
Sure,
aquatic bugs.
but like giant aquatic bugs, and I just can't. I can't see them. I can't be around them with their little.
Well, do you want to do that?
Antennae
Like,
thing?
you can come over sometime this summer. We'll boil up some lobsters.
Yeah, you can watch.
I
Ooh, down at the
You
Cape
should
we could
do-
do.
yeah.
Ooh.
I've never
I'm not
boiled a
comfortable with all
lobster
of it.
either.
Oh, you just want to eat your food. You don't want to see where it comes from beforehand. I see.
That's generally what I go with.
If it ain't in a Big Mac wrapper, I don't want any
Ooh,
part of
yep.
it.
Caitlin,
That's what he's-
Big Macs do not come in a wrapper. They come in a box.
Excuse me.
She was going old school because
Well,
they did at one time.
At one time.
Maybe you don't remember. I do.
Oh, I remember.
He's a McDonald's historian.
Right.
Lourdes.
Did you know that McDonald's and Burger? This is
Come on, out with
Say
it.
it,
Out with
say
it.
the all the big boy fast food chains
Big
now all have
boys.
apps, and they all have coupons built into the app.
How many do you have in your phone right now? Hold on, break it out. Let's.
My phone is being used, but I know
Yeah.
for a fact I have McDonald's, Burger King, and Taco Bell.
Where's the Taco Bell that you go
No.
to?
The one in Revere.
You've traveled that far to go to Taco Bell?
Yeah. Wow. Well, no, it's Everett. It's not Revere. It's Everett. The one by the big market basket.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
We're
I
really
used to-
regionalizing this pod.
I used to live in
used to-
Boston,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and I never eat fast food because
There's
so
not a
hard
lot
to
of
find.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of fast food
It's
in the
actually
city.
We're bringing it
a
back.
beautiful thing. I think.
Yeah.
True.
I find it to be fairly accessible. Although,
I mean, I will say I had a lot of Asian food and a lot of pizza when I was there
Yeah,
because
yeah.
those were the two places that delivered to our house. So
Yeah.
we just
Yeah.
took turns.
Where'd you live when you lived in Boston? JP, right?
My first 2 apartments were in Jamaica Plain. That was before I hooked up with a big Puerto Rican, aka my husband. Now, and then we moved to Rosendale, and we had 2 apartments in Rosendale before we moved.
Oh, nice.
how long all told did you live in Boston?
All told, I like that.
Like from
I
start
don't
to
know, a
finish.
long time because I moved there
You
for a
moved
while,
around a
and then
little
I
bit. You
left,
traveled a
and then I
lot.
came back. I was like a boomeranger, if you
Gotcha.
will.
Gotcha. Very
So,
cool.
but my husband was raised there.
That's right. So did he have? Was it easy to move to where you're from? And you're from? Are
To
you
where
born?
you're from.
Are you born in Columbus or?
Yes.
Okay.
I was about to say no. That's actually I was born there.
Like
The
was
13th largest city in America.
Good
yeah,
job.
I've heard
Thank you.
second in the Midwest.
Mhm.
Only second to Chicago.
I love
Chicago.
that you're
Second to the second city.
The transition was actually much easier for him
Yeah.
because I left when I was like, 18,
Mhm.
and then I moved away, and then I came back. I kept kind of
Like
bouncing
teasing
back
your
and forth.
family a
Ping
little
pong
bit.
ball.
True.
Mhm.
But he was very excited to move back,
That's nice.
or to move there, I should say, and he really embraced it.
Yeah. And did you move there when you had already had kids?
No,
Oh.
we moved there right after we got married.
Oh.
Because we thought that marriage was not stressful enough.
Uh-huh.
So we did all
What
of the
an ad
stresses
family.
At the same
that
time,
you
one
should do,
fell
yes.
swoop.
Moving,
Yeah.
getting a new job, and getting married.
Oh,
Those are
wow,
all
yeah.
all big stresses
Yeah, that's
on.
a
That
lot.
makes sense.
And we did it all in like 6 months.
You should have got a pet too.
Got it out of the way.
True. we did kind of get a pet. It was our daughter, and she was born like a year later.
Yeah, kind of the same thing.
Latinos, we move fast. Don't get offended. Don't write in. Don't send me emails. It's a joke.
The mailbag is closed.
That's right.
More things that we're bringing into adulthood.
Like adult flavors of ice cream.
Ooh,
You like more sophisticated.
Okay.
Can I-
Although sometimes I'm on the fence about that, I have to admit.
Yeah,
Can I say
sometimes
about
it's
ice cream?
too much of a good thing.
Ice cream doesn't need to get as fancy as it is.
That's what I
Okay,
mean. That's what
vanilla.
I mean.
Let's calm down on the ice cream flavors. Let's calm down on the $6 cones. And let's just take it back to basics. It's just ice cream. It's just cold milk. That's all it is.
No. It's not just cold milk.
It's basically just cold milk.
No, that's
That's
Frozen milk.
wrong.
milk.
I mean, this is the man who has like 7 fast food apps. He's not
True,
hard to
Elliot.
please.
He just picks and chooses.
Right. He's like, let's keep it a basic.
Did you hear Taco Bell came out with those new rattlesnake fries? Has anybody had them yet? Can't wait to get my hands on
I
those.
would never get fries from Taco Bell.
Oh, come on, with the nacho cheese and
I
the
haven't-
They
Well,
wouldn't
I mean,
actually
the
be
steak.
fries. They would just call them fries.
Yeah.
Much like everything else on their menu.
Mm.
Sorry, Taco Bell. Don't write
How
in.
dare you slander
Can
Taco
we-
Bell?
Lourdes, can you retract that? We've been going after a sponsorship
That was our
for them.
that was our main
Yeah,
get.
that was our. That's
That's tough.
the only one in the spreadsheet so far.
It's most aligned with our brand values.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Okay.
Ooh,
Lourdes.
I saw a commercial last night for no, it was on the airplane today for sock and boppers.
Oh.
Hit 'em once, bop 'em
What were you
twice.
watching?
Sock and
That was a
boppers.
commercial.
What are sock and boppers?
But I think on the same channel were ring pops.
Oh.
I like a good ring
So
pop.
I
like
don't
ring
know if there was
pops.
like a blast from the past
Maybe.
like thing going on.
What are
17
sock
years.
sock and boppers were like inflatable punching gloves for kids, so they could just like pound on each other but not hurt each other.
You definitely had sock and boppers, didn't you?
I think my cousins did.
I never had them.
I didn't have them.
No.
I don't think
Never
they
did.
were invented when I was a
But
child.
That might be true.
I'm pretty
Wow.
into I'm pretty into the idea of the ring pops though. Like I'd like
I
a
like ring
couple
pops.
candies to come back.
Ooh, what candies would you like?
Well, I don't think it's gone. Although it's been a while since I've been like in the market for this kind of candy, but like Fun Dip. Remember Fun Dip?
Ooh.
Yeah, you dip the
Yes.
sugar
Fun
into
Dip
sugar.
is still around.
Is it?
What
Yes.
about a baby bottle pop? Baby
Baby
bottle
bottle
pop,
pop.
Which is-
lick the top, dip
which
it
is
and
a Fun
lick it.
Dip.
I like it,
The
I like
only
it.
difference with that is that a Fun Dip had the like nondescript whatever
Yeah,
the
It's like the
Yeah.
that
the white
Like
wafery
the other
sugar.
sugar, the other sugar that you licked and then dipped into the other sugar.
But well, that one had no flavor. It had no nothing. But the bottles, that's
Oh,
like
yeah.
candy that you're dipping in candy.
I don't know if
Which
I
is
know
short
Baby
around
Bottle
your
Pop.
Wasn't there like a gummy bear, like the cartoon gummy bear, like gummy juice that was just like
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere.
I
Those gummy
was
bears?
just
Yeah.
singing that the other day.
Really?
Got it stuck
I
in
used
my
to
head.
like that cartoon.
I loved it.
back in the golden age of children's cartoons with the Rescue Rangers, DuckTales.
Yeah,
See, this is the thing.
DuckTales.
Those cartoons, the classic, great cartoons now. They're
I've
They
heard-
have
yeah,
been
I've
bringing
heard
back
that.
some. DuckTales has like a new iterations, but a much different like animation style.
Do you remember the
Elliot?
Shirt Tails?
No.
Shark Tales.
Wow.
No.
Shirt Tails or Shark Tales?
Shirt.
Never.
So they were
Even-
animals who wore T-shirts and they solved crimes and did other things.
Oh,
good
that
things.
sounds up my
Called the
alley.
Shirt Tails.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it if you
Yeah, I'm gonna look
enjoy,
that up.
gummy bears. It came out after. Or
I'd
the
bring that
snorkels.
back into my adulthood.
Snorkels. This is
No.
this
No.
is not
So
in your.
we're not that far in age apart from each other, like all things considered. But I feel like when you're younger, even a little bit of time is you have a totally different childhood.
It's like dog years.
Yeah, you could be
So
5
true.
years behind from somebody, and your childhood is absolutely totally different.
Especially in like some of the pop culture things, because like a cartoon or a TV show, if it runs for 5 years,
Yeah.
it may have been sunset by the time. Like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like other children
Probably
from-
also like birth order in your family, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, because like if you're the oldest, I feel like your younger siblings kind of follow along what you are into,
Yeah.
and like you bring those people up a couple years, you know.
True stories.
But like, so what were the biggest TV shows from our childhood? I'm thinking like Rugrats.
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, real quick before you talk about
Yeah.
your favorite, I remember. So we all work at the same place,
Yeah.
and we do these warm ups
actually
to kind
working
of
right now.
get to know each other. True, multitasking.
No,
really.
it's nighttime.
We're getting. We play these games to get to know each other, and I remember at a certain point, I said, "What was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon?" And people looked at me puzzled, like, "Why Saturday morning?"
Oh my
And I was
God,
like,
really?
Oh shit!
Wait.
You get to watch cartoons all the time.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, it was after school and Saturday morning. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now my kid like goes to YouTube or gets on an app or.
And just watches kids
these days with their
open up,
on-demand
do those
cartoons.
unboxing videos.
Oh, it's the
Ooh.
worst. It's the worst. Let's not even go down that road.
I watch a lot
Did
of
you make
unboxing
slime in
videos.
your house? Did your girls go through that?
They are still in that.
Ooh.
My daughter has an entire business plan with her best friend to have a slime making business, which I don't understand because I'm like, don't other kids just make slime? She's like, not as cool
Is
as
she
ours.
looking
Is
to sponsor?
Yes, thank you, Elliot.
Ooh.
Maybe she
Like we
could.
can get that name
Out there.
Yeah.
out there
Yeah.
to a couple
Okay.
people.
Yeah.
They make edible slime. They make slime that smells
Wait,
like
edible
things.
slime?
Yeah.
Really?
like-
They
Or,
make
like,
things that
Is it like made to
smell.
be eaten, or is
it's
it just non-toxic?
Yeah. That would
Probably option
be.
2. But they also put scents
Uh-huh.
in their slime, so it smells.
Oh,
gotta smell
that's
nice.
kind of cool.
So you're
Maybe
how,
we could break into the
are you
slime
buying
game.
glue like the gallon at the time, or did you like even go up to like industrial 5-gallon?
Well, so people give it
It's
to
like sitting
her.
across from Scrooge
Really?
McDuck right now.
Yeah, so like as a Christmas present, I was like, "Is this a bomb making kit?" And they were like, "No, it's to mix slime." I was like, "Oh, because you put in the Stay Flow stuff,
Yep.
and which is apparently really
My
not
younger
good."
sister went through this phase,
Yeah.
and so like she showed me her Tupperware tins of like these 17 different versions of slime,
Yes.
and like it gets you. You start like pulling it, and it's very
Mm.
cathartic.
Yeah.
And
So what? We had like silly putty.
Yeah, we had silly. It's been probably 20 years since I've been around like a kid's toy. You know what I mean? Like I don't have, I moved away, so I haven't
That
been
makes
around
sense.
my younger family members.
So that's
you know?
interesting
Yeah.
because I mean I had nephews and nieces, and so I kind of thought I understood
Yeah.
things, right? And then I had kids, and all of a sudden, like the song "Baby Shark,"
ooh,
and see, Elliot has no idea.
I know what you're talking about.
Right.
your
Well,
kids-
it,
I've heard it.
it
Yeah.
went crazy in the clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were you in the
Yeah,
clubs?
that's where I was
Baby
in
shark,
the clubs.
Mama shark.
Oh, it's so
He was at
don't
the
even
he was
start.
at the bell.
But it's interesting because my kids are beyond the Baby Shark phase, so I didn't understand until it became more of a cultural phenomenon, and like daytime talk shows where people are probably more my age bracket, or just pop culture references because it's becoming more popular.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, so when you have kids, I feel like it opens you up to a whole new world.
totally.
You understand cartoons that you will sometimes find yourself watching them even though you hate.
Yeah. You learn to
That-
hate new things that
Yes.
you didn't even know
And
existed
you hate
and
watch.
that you hated.
You
Yeah.
hate watch things.
But then, like, the kid will fall asleep, and you don't want to turn it off because you got to know if Paw Patrol is going to save the
Oh,
toy
yeah.
that was lost. Or
Trolls
whatever.
came back.
yes.
Trolls are back.
Yeah. They
Yes.
had that whole movie.
Can't Stop the Feeling, Justin Timberlake.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Does
afraid.
that count as they're back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're back.
And they have a whole line of toys.
You got JT on it, so
we
I wonder what your
trolls.
quotient
we have
is,
trolls?
Elliot.
They're little charms.
it's true.
Yeah.
What did you say? What is
Your cool
my cool
quotient.
quotient?
What's your
Yeah.
what is a cool? How do you calculate a
what-
cool quotient?
Let's do that. Let's
Who
calculate
has
our
the
cool
who has
quotients.
the highest cool quotient here? It's going to be
Wait,
Lourdes,
cool
but
to,
Of course.
cool to who?
Yeah,
like most other people
Like
in the world.
teenagers or like our peers?
None of us are going to be cool to teenagers.
I
Let's
believe
be
that there's
fair.
not even
Adults.
a list of
Right.
anything that I'm cool in. I don't think there is a bracket.
You look
You
cool
have
in
a
the
that
cool
school.
I
look.
score, huh?
You have a cool look.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like that. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you
Appreciate
have the
that.
beard, which
Yep.
is very in right now. The hair.
When you're
the
carrying
tattoos.
around
Sure.
your Fuji camera,
My Fuji.
seeing a
Oh,
flower,
yeah.
and you're like,
Thank you.
I know at least one woman in Memphis that found both of you very, very cool.
Ooh, can you tell us more?
that lady
I don't.
that I bailed
remember,
and left you.
This was my blue. This was my blue drink night.
We-
Or no, this.
No, it was
No, the
during the
house
day. We were at a house party for work.
Okay, you calling it a house party makes it
Well,
sound
it
a
was
little
probably
cooler
at-
than
it was at a
like
house.
It was like a
So-
board
It was
member's
a-
house.
It was a board member.
Oh, you're calling that a house party, Lourdes.
I wouldn't
was
call it a
too
house
much.
party.
It was
It was a
party at their house.
reception
In the
at a
loosest
house.
sense of the word, it was a house party.
Yeah.
Technically.
I actually
There was
have
some Kool-Aid, and somebody lived there.
well, there was some beer.
Oh,
Is that the
oh.
night that
There's-
your dress broke too?
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yes.
Oddly enough, not much of a story. Really.
That was
Which
it.
my dress?
That was
Yeah.
the
Yes, it
beginning.
is a story. You don't know the
Let's
other
hear
part of
it.
the story?
I guess I don't. Let's hear it.
Very. Chad, I think, knows the
I
story.
knows it.
Remember?
So I was wearing a dress, as I often do.
What?
And
As
I
one
was
does.
I was with Chad the majority of the day. This just goes to show you how like men don't pay attention to things because the zipper on my dress broke, and I'm pretty sure a good portion of my ass was hanging for like who knows how long of the day. And
Way
the
to go,
zipper,
Chad.
and I did not notice it either.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth. So at this
Okay,
party,
if I did see it, I must have thought that was just the cut of the dress. Because if I
Which-
would
She's
have,
like, look at Lourdes trying new things.
Lourdes taking some chances.
Ooh, she's not in Columbus anymore.
so we're at this party.
Memphis, baby.
This ain't the 13th biggest city in America. This is small town living. She can do what she wants. She doesn't know anybody here.
So Sarah, who will be on the pod,
Yeah,
Yeah,
future
next
guest.
episode.
she came in
After
and was
the
like,
next episode.
I'm pretty sure she called me something of, I don't know, hey whore, or something like that. And I looked at her puzzled, and she's like, are we trying out some new things with this dress? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, turn around. And I turned around, she's like, the whole back of your dress is open. It's the first person.
Chad!
What? And
Yeah,
she's like,
and Chad
yes.
thought that was a style.
So we went upstairs. She was trying to fix the zipper and could not.
I think you were putting like Vaseline on the
Oh,
zipper to try to like
Oh,
get it on.
we're not there yet.
Ooh. Bring it
She
back.
tries to
Ooh.
open. She tries to fix it, but we're in front of all the people. I'm like, let's go to the.
Lourdes, they've
That's true.
seen it already.
It's true.
If anything, they'd start cheering you on at
They're
this
like,
point.
finally, somebody told her.
Jeez.
So we go upstairs, and we ended up in the daughter's bedroom of this board member, and she's. At this point, she's like, take your dress off. And I'm like, I'm not taking my dress off because what would this look like if I'm standing in this room with no dress on? She's like, turn the dress around. And so at this, I'm kind of topless and I have the dress turned around. So if anybody walked in, I could only imagine what they would think in this scenario. So I thought we should rub something on it to try to make it move a glide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like suntan lotion in the room. It's the only thing that we could find
There's
that
a
could serve
bucket
as a
of slime.
lubricant. And so we put suntan lotion on. So now at this point, I'm standing there in my bra,
Smelling
my
like
dress
coconuts.
down. Exactly.
With a nice bronze.
And
Yeah.
then we decide this is not going to work. And so we leave. But I'm holding
Is
my
there a way,
dress.
did you have to like shuffle out like with your back to the wall
Yeah.
the whole time?
100%.
Oh, no.
Shimmied out?
And all of our bosses, I mean, the one head honcho boss was there who wanted to talk to me. And I was like, no.
Now's not the time, sir.
No.
Call me.
So we had to leave and go back to the hotel, and I had to change my dress and come back. But
And they were like, oh my God, that Lourdes is such a prima donna. She has to do an outfit
Outfit
change in the
change.
middle of this house party.
but I all I could think of was someone is going to walk into this room.
Oh,
and
I'm so surprised no
Why
one
does
did.
it smell like sunblock in here?
Yeah.
we were like Ethel and Lucy, which that often happens with the two of us, actually.
Yeah.
It was not my
without a
finest
doubt.
adulting moment if we're staying thematic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a loose theme.
Yeah. Just a little
Much
nugget
like
every
adulting,
5 to 10
nobody
minutes.
knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Just figure it out.
All right. Yeah.
True.
Hey, stuff happens. You know, you
But
just got to
also,
roll with the punches.
That same night, there was a lady who took affection to Elliot and I, and we
Deep
didn't
affection.
quite know how
Let me
to
guess how old this woman is.
Yes, take a guess.
72.
Maybe less
Yeah,
than
that's a
that.
little too.
Slightly
Oh,
less.
that's too
yeah,
high?
A little too high.
Yeah.
But definitely
Late
old
50s.
enough.
I'd say late
60s,
50s.
Okay.
60s, late 50s,
Yeah.
60s.
I'd say 57.
She was also, I think she had imbibed a couple of spirits.
Yes.
I mean,
She-
it was a
she was
house
feeling
party.
it.
That's right. She was like, hey, did you hear what's going on upstairs? I just saw these two gals.
She was
There's
a
really
gamer.
more for
They
this.
came
And
out real
kept,
slippery.
She kept like grabbing our arms and like,
She did.
She was getting handsy.
and we tried to end the conversation. She would start it back up.
Also, I was trying to save them, so I was trying to insert myself in the conversation, and she was basically like,
she boxed you out.
no,
She's
she
like-
did. She was like,
She's
no,
like,
get out of here.
And
These
so-
two are mine.
She's
At-
like, you're
at a
trying too
certain-
hard with that backless dress.
So at a certain
Stay in
point,
your
I
lane,
just,
girl.
I pretended like somebody across the room like called me, and I just walked away
Just
and left Elliot.
Good for you, Chad.
No, I was
Chad, he
standing
would've done
back
the
there. I was like,
same thing
Chad,
had
just
he
come
thought
on,
of
let's
it.
go.
Thanks for helping Chad.
You can hold your
Well,
own. You're a tough
I
guy.
saw his eye contact. So then we, of course, did what anyone would do. When we got Elliot's camera and took pictures of him
Yep.
being harassed by this woman.
And that's when I learned that Elliot's job is more complex than just like pointing and pushing a button. Because I tried to take a photo of Elliot like like in this conversation,
tried.
and the focal point was on the bookshelf between me, so Elliot's completely a blur.
Yeah.
It's
He
true.
took like 19 photos. Not one of them
Why-
is legible.
he knew how to
Job
turn
security,
the
Elliot.
camera on. I didn't.
True.
I was like, I don't
There's a lot of buttons on my cameras, you know?
So many buttons.
By design.
Yeah. We have to make it look harder than it is so
Yeah,
nobody else wants to try it. it's our secret.
Yeah.
It's a true story. So I was listening to the first podcast when we were talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
this, and you were talking about like getting married and having kids,
Yeah.
and I will tell you the thing that made me feel very adult, and then I crossed over another barrier. So I was sharing this with Elliot. I bought this chair and for like $10 at like, a garage sale or something. And I was going to reupholster it. And like after being in my house for, I don't know, like 4 years, not reupholstered, I was like, fuck it, I'm getting this chair reupholstered. So I actually physically took this piece of furniture and bought like fabric, and I paid someone a lot of money to make
Yeah.
it what I wanted it to be. And I was like, this is adulting. This is adulting because I have expendable income
Yeah.
to spend on a fucking chair
Right.
to make it what I want it
Yeah.
to be. And I could justify that and say, I deserve that. And I
Yeah,
will
it's
do
like
that.
once you start paying somebody to do something that you could do yourself,
Right.
Yes.
that's something that, well, maybe that's not adulting. Maybe that's just reaching a certain,
No, I think that's like being an
Level.
adult,
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
I think it is.
like I've always wanted to hire a mover, like to
Ooh.
move
No,
me from
yeah.
apartment to apartment. So I haven't hit that
I've never
point
done
yet.
it. Yeah.
But
Oh.
next time I move,
You're doing
I'm not
it?
touching a box.
No.
It's
gonna-
amazing.
yeah.
It's so freeing when that happens. I
I'm
also
excited for it.
cut down a tree.
Ooh.
Oh.
I mean, not myself. I
Oh.
paid
You paid
someone.
someone else to do it.
Yeah, that's legit.
And I was very excited about
Yeah.
it. Like, I was like, oh, the yard looks so much better. There's more light in my house. Like,
Like things you would have never thought twice about.
never.
Before, yeah.
Never. I would
Also,
never.
like having a plumber. I think like
Ooh.
when you have like a
Somebody that
list
you
of
can
people.
call.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yes.
That's like an adult thing.
A lot of the stuff you're
And a
talking
really
about,
hard thing.
it comes from home ownership because like I can't cut down a tree in my yard. I don't think I'm allowed.
I mean,
don't-
you
I
could
don't
get
need a
You
plumber.
could get a chair.
I could buy a chair.
Yeah, you can do a chair. You like chairs.
Sometimes I
you
get
like to sit.
at work when I connect somebody with somebody else.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I have a network that is worthwhile with somebody else. And
You're
like,
like-
you're trying to go
You're
over
like,
there.
meet
Let
Elliot.
me let me put you in touch with these people. And I'm like,
Try to
it's
remember
funny.
their name.
Yeah,
when you
well.
do that.
Like a lot of times it's people that I'm connecting with and I'm friends with them. I don't communicate with my friends the way that I do professionals. So I'll include them on an email and they're like, this is so in the group chat or something. I'll be like, it's so weird being on a professional email.
I know
with Chad.
people you're like friends with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the other thing is now that our daughter is 11 and she's becoming like a human being that's starting to make choices. I mean, she was always a human being. You know what I mean?
But you made her choices for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's coming to this place where she's deciding things. That feels like an immense amount of pressure. Or things like her body's changing and explaining that to her. So having these
Just have her call
conversations.
Elliot. He'll walk her through it.
Yeah,
That would
so
be interesting.
we've doled out some advice on this podcast.
You
before.
have.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. We don't need to revisit it. I mean,
About changing bodies.
Yeah, kind of. Laura wrote in.
But was this for a boy or a girl?
It was
A
for a
boy.
boy.
And that wasn't explicitly the question.
It was not at all the
asked-
question.
Elliot
She
just
said, I
decided to go
have
there.
a middle school age son who's not into sports.
Right.
Could you just have some advice on, how to parent him? And
yeah. So
And-
I started down a path of of helping her be a parent to this boy, regardless of whether or not he is an athlete or enjoys sports.
What was your little nugget of knowledge?
that
Boys get boners. that was his nugget.
That's about
That 80%
60
of the
minutes
time-
and 6 seconds.
80% of the time, as a 12-year-old or 13-year-old boy, you probably have an erection. And I just wanted her to know that and be at peace with it and to acknowledge it and be
He's like a
prepared for
priest
it.
now.
I'm going to
He's,
be
like,
honest. I
consoling
think I
her.
might have a hard time with that.
With what?
You happy to hear that from
Hearing
Elliot?
me talk about it? Or
Because I'm with you, Lourdes.
I mean, like, boys and their boners and their things. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I
'cause
grew up in a
you're-
house with all girls, so the only penises I know are the ones I've chosen to know. And so I think I have a different relationship with the penis than like a normal.
Yeah.
I mean, than like a mother.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's not a. I'm okay. Not.
It's tough.
Did you understand your body was changing? We're swerving in this conversation. Did
This
you?
is all over the map. It's true to form, though. I think there's no other way for
It's
it
good
to
I
have
have time
gone.
to edit this one.
Yeah.
I think my school
Could be
did
a-
a good job of like explaining stuff to us. When I think back of like the conversations that we had, I think we actually got a pretty decent conversation. Now, did we listen to everything? No, we snickered through all the stuff, or just like sat.
How can you
awkwardness.
not? Like,
I would probably still snicker now.
oh, I'm
Like, could you
snickering
imagine
correctly.
that
Yeah,
scenario?
I can't
Like-
talk about it. It's
Yet
unbelievable.
always is the one to bring it up.
I didn't bring it up.
Did they show
No, by
you?
itself up. That's a thing. You can't control it.
Did they show you how to put a condom on?
I think so.
So I went to a Catholic school.
Oh well, they were like.
And I
this-
don't think like we had like the talk and like the on a very like clinical this is how it works, but I feel like my education was abstinence only, but maybe not. Maybe not quite.
because it was a Catholic school.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it was Catholic, but it wasn't like insane Catholic.
I
Catholic
forged
casual.
my mother's
Yeah.
name.
Catholic.
I forged her name so I could go to my 5th grade
Ooh,
sex ed.
always a bad
Would she
girl.
not have signed it?
auditorium. No.
No, okay.
I mean, she also did not tell me anything. Love you, Molly.
Oh, I think
She told
we
me
do have
nothing.
a-
Mom, because
I
I'm
think-
sure
I
you're
think-
listening.
I remember a story you telling about learning in certain adhesives for early products.
Oh God.
This is a setup like I've never seen
a
or
setup
heard
that is-
before. Lourdes, you got to do it.
It's
You got to
even
do
more
it.
uncomfortable that Chad introed it
I do.
that way.
I do.
This is
I
one
do.
of my
This is
favorites.
so. My mother
Oh,
did.
boy.
This is a lesson
It's tough.
for all you listeners out there about how you should talk to your children about
See?
how things work in life.
Yep.
We give advice to the boys and to the girls.
So it's
It's true.
equal opportunity to offend.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
True. So I went to this, so at some point, all my friends were getting their periods, and I thought, I'm going to get my period at any moment. Because everybody who got theirs, it was like a surprise. It was like Tuesday, somebody has their period. Wednesday, somebody
they
has their
don't-
period. And
They
I was
don't
like,
call ahead.
no, I was like, Friday could be my day. And so I started to get very nervous. And when you are a girl, Caitlin,
Yep.
you can attest to this. The worst thing that could happen is getting your period at school.
Oh, yeah.
And you would have to like wrap your sweatshirt around your waist,
Uh-huh.
like do all these things.
Yeah.
And it's very embarrassing.
And Lourdes is like, not me.
Right.
Not me.
So I, again, had 2 older sisters. We had pads at the house. I decided I was going to start wearing a pad to ensure.
Preemptive.
Yes. I'm not saying this was
it's
a
like
good
you wear a
plan.
helmet to ride a bike. Like you don't think you're going to crash, but imagine if you did.
Right. You will want to be safe.
Yeah.
So, being a kid, because, and you don't have children yet, but you will realize as kids are actually kind of dumb. They're just, I shouldn't say they're dumb. They're very smart. They just don't know things. They haven't
Right.
experienced things. And so if you give them something and they don't, like, it's like the phone thing. Like, have you seen kids like look at a phone, like a house phone, and they don't know how to use it? They're like, I don't know what is happening. What are these buttons for? Why is it making a noise? Like, it's not logical. Something that seems very logical. to us.
Right.
Anyways, so I get this pad, and if for those of you who have never seen a maxi pad, first of all, back
Chad,
then,
what's your experience with maxi pads?
I know what they are, and I understand where the confusion came in that she's about to explain.
So number one, you should know that maxi pads back in the day was like an entire roll of paper towels. Like, it was that big and that
Roll
big.
of paper towels.
Like, it felt like you were sitting on a pillow. Like, so first of all, I'm
Sounds
like,
comfy.
the sheer length and girth of this is frightening. But then I see that there's paper on it, and I'm like, wonder what this is for.
Oh.
I take the paper off, not thinking. I put it on my underwear because that's what you should do. Although I learned very quickly that the sticky part of it should be facing down and not up, much like mine was. And so after experiencing what felt like an eternity of discomfort, and then basically giving myself my first Brazilian, because there was also like industrial strength glue on these pads back then.
Did you think when it first became adhered, were you like, this is right? This is how it's supposed to be.
Well, when I first put
It's
it on,
very
it wasn't
secure.
It wasn't adhered till I like
safe.
sat.
Yeah.
It's like a sandwich. It's like
This one
squishing a
fits.
sandwich. It's like very close to the
Well, that's
adhesive.
an image.
Well,
Well,
we're
we
sharing a
just-
story for the ear, not the eye. So I realized this afterwards. I take it off, very painful. So I go to my sister because that's who you go to.
Yeah.
Your older brothers and sisters are supposed to be beacons of knowledge. And my sister is like, you're so stupid. Sticky side goes down. So it stays on your underwear. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. It's very sad.
We gotta make mistakes to learn.
Yeah, you
know?
do.
But
You
also,
learn from mistakes, not from successes.
Hey, you know what, Lourdes? You're never going to forget that.
I've never
and your
forgotten.
girls are going to know right away. Like, you're going to instill in them the proper
You're gonna
mechanics
say,
for that.
hey,
I was talking to
sticky
my daughter,
side
actually,
down.
who'd be mortified that I'm repeating this, but I was telling her.
Well, she's
and
gonna
I'm
be
sure
there
she's
too.
not listening.
I was telling her the sticky side goes down,
Yeah.
and she was like, oh, glad you told me. That makes sense. I was like, I know.
Do you think it would have been funny if you just didn't tell her? Just see what happens.
Well, you know what was amazing is that my this is again the innocence of children. We were talking about tampons, and they were like, "Where does the tampon go?" And I was like, "This is a question I was not prepared to answer." So I said, "Inside." And then she looked at me puzzled and said, "There's an inside?" And I was like, "Oh, damn! Like, you don't even know your body. Like, you don't know how that works." So that's deep. See, this is what I'm talking about. There's a very deep responsibility as a parent to understand.
Have you had that conversation yet, or is she still wondering?
No.
You could just play her this. Just sit her down in front of it, push play, and
You're
let
like,
her roll.
I don't want to be here for the conversation. So just listen to
No.
this.
Give her some big headphones.
You've heard of Elliot, yeah? He's going to read you a story now.
Gosh. No, we have not had the talk. But did you guys talk to your parents? Like, did they tell you about like,
So
sex or how?
my grandma had
Wow.
a conversation with me when I was
Curve.
like 4.
That's
Oh.
too young.
So I'm not exactly sure why. Either I walked in on something
First
and
of all,
had
I like that
questions.
you're like,
With your
it's too
grandma?
young. And not the fact that it was his grandmother.
That was my next comment.
I think what may have triggered it is I was starting to learn how to read. In my grandparents' bedroom, there was a bowling pin that said sex pin. And so I was like, what's the sex pin?
This story is branching out to so many other questions.
What's a sex pin?
What is it?
It was a bowling pin that had sex pin written on it.
Oh,
I
God.
don't
It
know.
might have been a sex toy.
Maybe.
Chad?
I think it was like a bar trophy or something like that. The 70s in rural Wisconsin had some
Wild
fun
times.
things going
Wild
on.
times.
So I think I just asked a question. My grandma gave me this rundown on
Can
some
you
things.
repeat the rundown as you remember
so
it?
my memory of it seems like it doesn't make sense. So when a man and a woman love each other, they'll kind of hug each other, but more, and they'll have sex, and they can have sex with their clothes on or their clothes off. And
Incorrect, actually. It's not accurate information.
well, I think,
This was 4-year-old Chad.
It's true.
and I think if you get creative, not completely, but you don't got to be buck naked.
Buck naked. I don't want to hear you say buck naked. That's uncomfortable too.
Elliot is very
I
uncomfortable
think
with
he's
the
been
functions
very
of the
uncomfortable
body.
for the past 15 minutes.
He has. And did you also notice that his body has moved more?
And he's always like, hey, stay on the mic. Stay on the
Right.
mic.
I'm on it.
Yes, but he has definitely moved to the corner.
Yeah,
And I'm
yes.
kind of
Yeah,
hunched up over here too.
moving into your
That's
stuff.
about all I got, though. That's all I remember.
It's fair.
Mhm.
Why are you uncomfortable talking about this, Elliot? I'm just wondering.
Mainly because I know who's on the other side of this.
Ooh.
That's
His mom
who's on the
listens.
other side of who's gonna hear this?
Oh,
Coworkers and
but they have sex too.
yeah, it's probably true.
I mean, I hope so. For their own sanity and happiness in life, I think they should.
Unless your priest back home is a listener. He might not be.
Oh, speaking of priests back home,
Oh, God.
lot of
Yeah, you're...
they diddled.
Elliot's
They're
from
diddlers.
Elliot's from the pedophile region of Pennsylvania.
It's not fair to my region.
We've covered a
Way
lot of ground on this episode, Lourdes.
This is what happens
So
when we don't
much
have a
lot
show.
of ground.
It's true. You don't ever run a show. But I think, I will say this for reals.
Yeah.
I think it's unhealthy for us as a society to not be able to talk about sex because I feel like everyone has it. And I think that we would actually be healthier if we were okay talking about it. And I'm not saying you have to get in graphic detail, but
Yep.
I mean, I think what we talked about today was nothing graphic. It's
Right,
just factual.
And the fact that we've talked about it before, because I remembered you had that story, and I was like, Lourdes, tell that.
I love how Chad was the setup on that one.
Yeah.
I know. I like to break the ice. I mean, I don't tell it to people when I meet them the first time.
Second or third, yeah.
Yes.
You gotta warm up to that one.
I'm a
Hey,
pretty
you want to
open
hear
person.
something?
I'll tell you about a life lesson I learned.
Tell me about a time you made a mistake and what you learned from it. So mostly just job interviews. Then is where you bring that
Yes.
one out. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I should. This has been lovely.
It has been lovely.
It's been lovely.
I appreciate it. Thank you for asking me to be on.
Thank you for being on. Do you think you'll come back?
I would love to
Do you
come.
think
Oh
you're
my
going to
gosh.
listen to more of the show?
Yeah.
Yes. I would love to listen to more of the show.
All right.
Well, you're getting better every time. Even this
Thank
conversation
you.
I thought was good.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, now you know where to find us because you have our business card.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
You have to get yourself a T-shirt or a tank top.
Wait, I thought I got a t-shirt for being on the pod.
No, you asked, can I get? you asked, can I get a T-shirt? And I was like, yeah, of course you can. We have a
He
we
said,
have
"Yeah,
a
of
store
course you
online.
can. You got a credit card?"
No.
Go
I
to
said
tpublic.com/user/
I
I'll
think
tell you
you
what
should
podcast.
gift your guests a t-shirt, and you guys said it was a good
And we
idea.
said
Well,
that's a
what
great idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
For the future. Future goals.
Well, I can say I will remember.
We'll
when.
do the iron-ons for that one. Well, this pod was a journey.
Yes, a
Lourdes.
great
It
coming-of-age
took
story.
twists. Yes, a coming-of-age story
Mhm.
with twists,
Turns,
with turns,
lessons.
lessons,
some slippery
Some
slopes,
painful.
some
sticky spots.
But you know what? We all made it out on the other side, and we're better and we're stronger for it. And we are so grateful
So
for
good.
you, Lourdes.
I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You got
thank
to
you
come
for coming.
back.
Yes, I would love to.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap.
Yes.
That's a wrap.
Lady and gentlemen.
We've been what? You've been
Told. Thanks for sticking it out, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thanks, Lourdes.